Did that really just happen? I mean, am I losing my mind? Did that really just happen? Did they really just lose that game to the Cleveland Browns? You know, you go back to say, I don't know, 2014, where in the last 5 minutes of a football game, you give away a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Give it away to the Seattle Seahawks. Just booted it. This wasn't a chance to go to the Super Bowl. This was just a regular season game. But equally as crazy, tell me if you look up, is how Philadelphia just won on a blocked field goal, picked up and ran in for a touchdown. I'm telling you, you want to talk about a lot of crazy stuff going on in the NFL this week. That way that Philly just beat the Rams is crazy. And then the way that the Packers lost pretty much the same way because the Browns blocked their field goal and set up the winning field goal for themselves to beat the Green Bay Packers. Nicolay Lawfan talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Tweet us at The Fan Milwaukee, Facebook at The Fan Milwaukee as well. I think I'm in shock more than I am anything else. I seriously am trying to figure out what just happened. They scored, 10 points in 37 seconds?
Mm-hmm. That was totally,
oh my gosh,
totally on Matt LaFleur in the fourth quarter there. I mean, first of all, there was multiple examples of terrible clock management. Hey, let's snap the ball on the last play of the third quarter when it totally meant absolutely nothing to when it was 3rd and 1 and then take a sack. Hey, on that drive right before Cleveland gets the right before the interception drive, you pass the ball twice in a row instead of running it. They should have been at the 2-minute warning way before in this game. And then, hey, you know what? Let's just showcase it one more time at the end of the ball game. The offensive line, like this Packers team, is obviously going to survive or die based on how their offensive line plays.
And remember, this isn't. Listen, can we ride for a second and then I'll let you finish? I promise. All week long on Wisconsin Sports Daily, all week I told Charlie, if Banks can't play and he ain't 100%, don't play him. If we don't need to have Zach Tom, if he ain't 100% with that oblique, because obliques can last forever. So can groin muscles, groin injuries can last forever. You can make them worse by running them back out there. I said, don't play him. It ain't worth playing him against the Browns. It's not a conference game. It's not a division game. Ain't no need to go running them guys back out there. I also said they should be able to beat the Browns without both of those two. Either way, out they come. Zach Tom hurts his oblique on the first freaking play. When I brought up to Charlie Usen, former college offensive lineman, about the idea of, hey, what happens if Jordan Morgan's at right tackle? He goes, oh, no, that they're not going to do that, Sparky. Oh, okay. Well, they did it. They went running him out there at right tackle. Now, as you know, the footwork on the right side versus left side is completely different, okay? He's been playing at left guard. He's been playing at left tackle. He played some at right guard in camp too with Sean Ryan. So you go running him out there. False start, one after another. Jordan Morgan looked awful. Meanwhile, Aaron Banks makes it longer than Jordan Morgan, and then he goes out with a groin injury again. And what happens? Hey, Jordan, go back to the left side. So they move him back over to left guard again, and then in comes Melton. Didn't they sign Kennard from the Eagles?
Oh, my God, another scoop and score to just win the game right here
on
a blocked kick.
Goodness. That was under 2 minutes to go.
At least give them the lead.
Jets block a Buccaneers field goal, and now they've tied it with an extra point pending to give them up with under 2 minutes to go.
But, I mean, the offensive line, you think
Will McDonald, by the way.
You think the guy on the edge might have got a piece of it. It wasn't. It was the offensive lineman getting pushed so far back in the interior of that kick, and they ended up getting a hand on it from the interior of the 43-yard attempt. That was total garbage play and looked like they have never managed a football game the last 5 minutes of it. Just terrible from Matt LaFleur. The offensive line was garbage all day. So I understand that you were in terrible situations all day because of how bad the offensive line did. The defense today was phenomenal. And I know the Browns offense is not all that glamorous, and there's not a lot to look at in the positive way. Sure, Quinshon Judkins ended up eating in the fourth and third quarter too.
He's
but
a talented dude, though, man. He was good at Ohio State, too.
Could you have asked for the defense in that game? They went bend, don't break on that first field goal at the 1 yard line. Then you ended up having the garbage interception from Jordan Love. Like, that was just ridiculous play from the offense today.
Yeah, the Wicks was there, and Love was clearly throwing out a spot. So I don't know if Wicks broke that route out too far, 2 yards upfield, or whatever the case may be. Love clearly threw it to a spot where there was no wide receiver. There was a Browns defensive back that picked it off, and that was a big play. Let me rewind back a little bit farther in that game. I'm driving in here to the radio station. It's start of the fourth quarter or whatever. Larry McCarron on the radio says, quote, "This is a 10-0 game. This isn't over yet. The Packers cannot have any big mistakes on offense, defense, or special teams if they're going to win this game. No big mistakes." Love throws a pick. They get a field goal blocked. I mean, I don't think there was a big mistake on defense, but on offense and special teams, 2 huge mistakes in that football game that cost you a game to the Browns. The Browns, who through 2 weeks hadn't even gotten a turnover off of another football team. That was their first turnover of the season. I will remind you that the Browns defense is really good, okay? So I don't want you to think that we're playing like the worst defense in the NFL and got beat. That's not what happened.
Sure.
Going into this game, you knew that this was going to be a slugfest inside on the line. You knew that they were going to have to do something with Garrett Miles, and they were going to have to contain him, right?
Myles Garrett,
sorry.
Yes,
with Myles Garrett, you knew that. In the first half, he's running doubles. Then he's trying to do it by himself. Then in the second half, they got literally on one play, they had 3 dudes on that guy between the running back, the tight end, and the offensive lineman trying to stop him. Well, what happens when you put that much emphasis on that one guy? You got guys running up the middle. There's no running back there to block to save Jordan Love because they're all over here trying to deal with another player. So it opens up everything for Schwartz, the defensive coordinator of the Browns, to attack Jordan Love with.
Packers played so scared in the fourth. So scared.
They were just trying to get out of there.
Just trying to get out. They wanted no business to deal. You could tell that Cleveland smelled blood in the water, and they just ate their lunch in the fourth.
But Tommy, you say that, but the one thing that irritated you more than anything was that they were too aggressive. They hit Golden on that 30-some yard pass play.
Yep.
Then they could have ran the ball a couple times to suck some clock off. They didn't. They said, nope, we're going to throw it. Incomplete. Josh Jacobs incomplete. Josh Jacobs incomplete. And then they end up having to punt the football. And there should have been probably another 2 minutes run off the clock had they run the football in that situation. Completely.
Yeah. And that was when, after they did not convert on any of those plays, you could tell that the Green Bay Packers were scared in the set. They felt like they were not in a position in which they were in total control for the first time all season in a football game, and they totally wet their pants. Like, that was exactly what happened. Jordan Love giving the ball to Josh Jacobs. Jacobs just walking around all over the place with his one hand on the ball when all you need to do is get a first down and the game is over at this point. And Green Bay, again, scared the entire time. They kept trying these end arounds with Matthew Golden, and they worked out all right with him staying in bounds at least, but they're doing all this trickeration, and they're just way too cute at the end of the game. Run the damn ball. You got a guy who you are paying like one of the best running backs in the NFL right now, and you refuse to give the ball to him. Jordan Love, until that interception, was the only reason Green Bay was in that game. I mean, Jordan Love, you can say, oh, that interception was awful, and he's the reason why you lose. Maybe if you break it down to one play, yes, that was a momentum shifter. But Jordan Love was keeping it on read options beautifully.
Ran the ball way more
when he was not under pressure. He was having a fantastic day. And no, the stat page is not going to look like it's in Jordan Love's favor, but he was at least in control on the offense for a majority of this game. And the Green Bay Packers, they could feel themselves crumbling. And ultimately, Jordan Love was the last piece to fall at the end of the game.
It's Tommy Ward, Steve Sparky Fifer with you here. The Packers get upset and lose. I really did. I thought this was going to be a Packers win or overtime at the end of the game. For you Brewer fans tuning in, hoping for a clinch scenario there, they're losing 4-1 in the 8th inning right now as the Packers lose 13-10 to Cleveland Browns. Nicolay Love Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Let's go to Trail on the north side. You're first up here on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show on The Fan with me, Steve Sparky Fifer. What's up, Trail?
Hey, what's going on?
You tell me.
I knew it. I was sitting here just I was as nervous as the Packers played in the fourth quarter because I'm like, but this is my top 5 reasons right here. Number 5 is that special teams play, missed field goal. You got to block better than that. You got a special team coach got to set his team up to block better. No one should be coming in loose like that on the edge like that. That's terrible.
Yep.
4, offensive line play was horrible all day. And I understand Cleveland has a great defense. I understand they got one of the best pass rushers in the league, but you got to come up with something better than that than those guys like ragdolls all day. Number 3 was the penalties. Undisciplined football all day long. That's the only thing I think the defense did that I didn't like. They were a lot of undisciplined where they were stopping them, but then they were getting automatic first downs to the Cleveland Browns. Number 2 is that Jordan Love pick. You can't have it. I think he played pretty well today for what he was dealing with, but that pick, you cannot throw that pick in a close game like that when there's that much time. And even though he did redeem himself, that's why he's at number 2. Number 1 is Matt LaFleur. You can't play that scared like that. I felt it. I felt the energy of the football game. I'm like, we're not going to, something's going to happen because they're playing too scared. They're doing gimmicky plays, giving Golden back-to-back in the rounds for running plays in the fourth quarter. I'm like, come on, man. Like, are we going to play to win or are we going to play just so we can try to hope that we're still in field goal range? And that's how I felt, and that ended up costing them at the end of the game. And Matt LaFleur has a knock of doing this because when we were in some of those NFC Championship games, he gets a little bit too conservative at the wrong times. There are times that you need to be conservative, and I understand. But he gets conservative where he's taking the momentum out of the and taking the air out of the football game, and you can feel it as a fan watching the game. So that's my top 5 for they losing. A terrible loss. They should have beat this team.
Yeah, they should have.
The team was pretty much beat, but
yep.
I mean, you got 17 games in the season, so I guess you're gonna have some games.
And the crazy thing is, the quarterback didn't beat you. Like that you didn't lose to Flacco. Thanks for the call. You didn't lose because Flacco had some unbelievable game necessarily.
No.
That's not what happened. Now, the idea of, okay, well, they're being conservative. Trout calls them gimmicky plays. I don't know, man. Like, I didn't mind the Matthew Golden drive or what they were trying to do with Matthew Golden. They're trying to get show Cleveland something that maybe they haven't seen from Green Bay on tape to this point. I didn't have a huge problem with that necessarily. And they were working. I mean, for God's sakes, Cleveland ran a flea flicker at one point in this game. A very interesting. I mean, Flacco blew that play. He had a guy on that flea flicker, had a guy wide open about 20 yards downfield and ran the check down play instead on that one. But again, I think sometimes as a fan, if you blow a lead, it's like, oh boy, we got really conservative. But then if you throw it and you have a couple incompletions and give them too much clock, then it's like, oh my God, why didn't you run the ball? And why didn't you, take more time off of the clock? Same thing for the end of the half. The ball is in the air. Xavier McKinney gets the pick. I tweet out, boy, great interception by Xavier McKinney. And I got people like Thunder. No, it was a horrible decision. Listen, I'm not going to tell you I know what it's like to be a professional football player. Because I don't. I've never been one, obviously, in my life. But I'll tell you this much. When the ball's in the air and you're making money based on interceptions and stats, and that's how you get in the Hall of Fame and everything else, and it's at the end of the half, this isn't a Hail Mary at the end of a game to possibly win or lose the game. This is the end of a half. To expect a quarter to simply, it's right here. No, I'm just going to knock it down and not take the interception. Come on, man.
No.
I mean, 98 to 99% of the DBs in the league catch that ball,
Well,
add that to their stats.
And they still would have tried to kick a field goal at that time. They're the entire game. Like, oh my gosh, I get it. Andre Schmidt hit a 61-yarder in the UFL. Who cares? Like, they would have been at the same point where they're going to at least try to get points on the board. I don't think anyone was like really scared. Well, that was on 4th down though, right? Like, still. I don't,
because the argument was that would give you a shot for a quick play on offense and then get your own field goal there on the half.
That's thinking too deep about this situation. I think there are way other different moments in this game where you can point to, especially in the 4th and 3rd quarter. I think it all starts with, like, why the hell did they snap the ball on that last play of the 3rd quarter? It made no sense why you wouldn't just run the clock all the way down. You're at 3rd and 1. Let's make sure we know what play we'd like to run here, Green Bay, and then try to get the first down. Then again, the drive before the interception, just completely trying to be too cute with the football the entire time. I understand you want to get the first down, but time is way more valuable than an incomplete pass at any point in this game. They should have just been chewing it down. The run game, I understand, also had nothing going today.
Which we thought might be the case. You brought that up during the week on the Mason Crosby show.
So why not just use the time? Use the time, Matt. Made no sense why they did that.
Totally agree with you. He is Tommy Worth, C. Sparky Pfeiffer here. Don't forget our brand new lineup starts tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht. They'll take you and go back over this game, take your reaction to the game tomorrow morning, 6 to 9. Then 9 to noon with Kuhn. That's right. Former Packers fullback and sideline analyst for the Packers Radio Network. John Kuhn is with Rami Makloff, longtime fan host. So John and Rami got it from 9 to noon. Brandon Snide, longtime producer in the market. He comes over as well. So that's going to be a great show. Noon to 2, the new home for the foundation of the station, the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis, presented to you by Verizon, along with my guy Tommy Wirtz. They'll be all fired up from noon to 2 tomorrow.
Oh my God.
And then myself and Charlie Usen with Wisconsin Sports Daily 2 to 5. And then the fan post-game show will be on the air Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 p.m., hosted by Tommy Wirtz. And what he'll do is he'll take different clips from the different shows, play them back for you, give you a little reaction as well as he goes throughout. 5 to 6 fan post-game show each and every day. So local talk here on The Fan, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. It all starts tomorrow morning at 6. Make sure to keep it tuned in for that. Let's go to Tony in New Berlin. You're next on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. What's up, Tony?
Hey, Sparky, how's it going?
Going good, man. Thanks for calling in. What do you think of this Packers loss?
Oh, my God. Well, first, I got a couple points. The first thing is the offensive line. I had to listen to the game until I got home because I was on the road from up north. And the offensive line is just like scaring me to death. Okay. I knew Cleveland was going to be really tough defensively, but it just seemed like they were so unprepared for this game. Okay. And then on top of it, I got to say it, man. I mean, I like Jordan Love, but he played like he was in his second year. I'm like, why are you doing the things you're doing?
Okay. So outside of the pick, what other issues did you have?
The issue with him throwing the ball away. I was screaming at my radio, "You're outside the pocket. Just get the ball away."
Correct.
Man.
When he took that big sack. Yes, I agree with you.
That was a bad one too.
That was a big point of the game.
That was the last play of the third quarter that we're talking about. Yes,
absolutely. Big play.
Right. And, I'm just like, I wanted to see more Josh Jacobs in running the ball, use the tight ends. I just didn't know what the game plan was today. So it was really disheartening, especially after they blocked the field goal. And I was like, oh, my God. They had this game won.
They did. They absolutely did. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Don't be a stranger, Tony. So there's Tony in New Berlin on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line. You can tweet at us, Facebook us as well at The Fan Milwaukee. Dennis did just that. Since Matt LaFleur has been here, there are 2 or 3 games a year where the team looks woefully unprepared. Today is one of those days, and Rich Bisaccia needs to go.
All right, look, if Bisaccia gets fired before Fickle, we're going to have a problem here, all right? Like,
how'd you intertwine Fickle in the Badgers into this?
I had plenty of opportunities already in this game. No, I think that what you're looking at, Josh Jacobs, like, we'll go inside the box score obviously later on, but he had 30 yards on 16 carries today.
Yep.
And that was the effort to get him involved in the game. Like that, really, you're averaging 1.9 yards
But you still
a
give it to
carry,
him.
and you I get it, but
You have to still give it to
he
him. 'Cause you
also
gotta keep him
tried to
honest.
give the game away at the end too.
Well, again,
Very easily.
He fumbled, yes.
If the call would have been, Cleveland recovers instead
stays.
of, it probably doesn't have enough to realize that Josh Jacobs had possession of the ball. Maybe he did. His yellow glove, like on top of it, was great, I guess. But looking at this game, like you have to point to how terrible the offensive line played, and you can do that with Josh Jacobs' numbers. Plus, when you see Jordan Love was sacked 5 times for just the second time in his career, it really wasn't, other than the last play of the third quarter, like those were 4 sacks that were all on the offensive line.
See, this is something that is going to occur when you decide to build depth with young guys. And that is the way that Brian Gutekunst has always chosen to build depth. And I have news for you. It's not going to change now that you have Micah Parsons and Jordan Love both making $100 million combined on this roster for the next several years. You're going to consistently have young guys as your depth pieces if your veterans or your starters go down. And today was another one of those situations where Jordan Morgan's at right tackle. That was a fiasco. Then Jordan Morgan moves inside to guard. And then what happens? All of a sudden, Rasheed Walker's having issues over there next to Jordan Morgan, and Belton's fighting for his life at right tackle again. Again, when you get into these situations, that's when being the youngest team in the NFL and having all this youth can kind of work against you, because Jordan Morgan missed several games last year because of injury. Jordan Morgan wasn't consistently playing any position because he kept rotating in with Sean Ryan at right guard. He just hasn't had a lot of time on the field.
It's a garbage argument, too, because everything is all about how versatile everyone is on the offensive line.
Yep.
And quite frankly, right side, left side, you're throwing him out there. So why would you put him in a position if it wasn't going to be a benefit for him? The footwork's all completely different. I don't care. You're the first round pick. You need to prove that the reason they took you in the first round is because you showcase versatility wherever you are on the offensive line.
But
this is absolutely pointing back to that as well, to think, what the hell were they doing when they did that if he's going to play like this?
when they drafted him, Brian Gutekunst said he sees him as a left tackle. That's what he said when they drafted him. I see him. I think he's the left tackle. Rasheed Walker is not signed to an extension as of right now. Right now, as we sit here today, Jordan Morgan's your starting left tackle next year. Unless Rasheed Walker signs for a song, which I don't see happening. Unless he signs for a song, Jordan Morgan's starting left tackle. And then things will get real interesting.
Right, yeah.
For Jordan,
how does that make
Jordan
you
Love.
feel after this game?
Doesn't.
Yeah.
But again, this is where you are when you rely on depth and being a bunch of young guys. Johnny, North Side, you're next in the Green Bay Football postgame show here on The Fan with C. Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, man? Let me first start saying, no, I'm not going to let this kill my week. I will not. I'm going to play devil's advocate here and take some good out of this game. One, our defense played God out of his lights out. They played great. It went exactly how I thought it would go. The whole game did. I never felt comfortable at any given time. When I seen we couldn't move the ball freely and it just wasn't fluent, I never felt so. It's not out the ordinary that Cleveland defense steps up. That's not even really even all that mad at the interception as much as you would think. Those phantom calls, it was a phantom holding or a phantom pass in the field, like back to back. We stopped them like 9 times at the goal line.
Yeah.
And they just kept giving them another set. It was like, Lord, it was just meant to be. But the big take I got out of everything is you guys didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. It's the one thing I've been saying about since Jordan Love. If we don't beat ourselves, we win this game. You guys did not beat us. We absolutely shot ourselves in the foot multiple times. And if if I'm going to say, penalties, unnecessary flinches, getting false starts, those yards, they matter. They end up mattering. That interception, that end up really, really, that was a death sentence right there. But it was nothing that, like you said, nothing that Flacco did. You didn't play out the defense didn't play to the point where where I feel like, the defense beat us, it was the game played out that we beat ourselves. Jordan Love doesn't throw that interception. Maybe we do go through in 3 and out. But this offense that Cleveland has to go down the length of the field, and all that time has to run off the clock some more, and then we get the ball back again if they were to score after that. So I'm going to take the good out of it. We beat ourselves. You guys didn't beat us. And also, the pressure is off. Green Bay isn't indestructible and unbeatable.
That's right.
You guys, if it's anything.
Well, remember, Rasheed Walker earlier in the week, thanks for the call. Rasheed Walker earlier in the week talking about being undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were talking about. Micah Parsons yesterday or Friday talking about, hey, man, I don't have a problem with saying it. Probably shouldn't say it to the people for everybody else to hear, but whatever. You want to say it, say what you got to say. I didn't have a problem with him saying it either. But listen, I'm just as guilty. We were talking about on Wisconsin Sports Daily, me and Charlie, about, man, when are they going to lose? They might get to 6, 7, 8-0 before they actually lose a game here, before this whole thing is said and done. And boom, it happens right away. It brings you down a peg, right? Was this a trap game, right? With Dallas on the other side, Micah Parsons' revenge game next Sunday night, prime time. Maybe that's what it was. They were looking ahead a little bit. But all that goes out the window when you lead the football game for 3/4 of the football game. You're sitting there and you have the lead. You're in control. And again, spinning it up the way you do, you can argue about the players. You can argue and say it's the coaching staff, because that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to hear this week on The Fan, again, local, every day, starting tomorrow, 6A to 6P. You're going to hear all week long, Matt LaFleur cost them this game. It's going to be on Matt LaFleur at the end of the day. And really, if we're being honest, it probably should be on the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers and the struggles they had more than Matt LaFleur. And if it's going to be there, that goes back to Brian Gutekunst, who put this roster together.
They were in the position in the fourth quarter because of the offensive line, 100%. Like with 5 minutes left in the game, it was 10-0, right. And they were in that position where they weren't putting things away because of the offensive line. But 5 minutes left, Matt LaFleur, take over the game. Don't try to get too cute. Understand what needs to happen. You blew it. You let that thing get away from you at the end. By no means was he having a terrible game all the way up until that point. The offensive line, that's the reason they were in that position. Matt LaFleur, your cutesy execution at the end of it cost them.
He's Tommy Worth, Sparky Fiber with you, Green Bay football postgame show. Let's go. Let's continue on. You can vent, and vent some more. We are here with you. All you have to do is dial it up. Nicolay Law Fan Talking Text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can watch us on YouTube and chat there in our Dugout YouTube chat. Search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. Stream us on your Odyssey app, AUDACY. You can reply in social media as well. That's another area. Twitter and Facebook at The Fan Milwaukee. Or you can record something and just send it in through your Odyssey app. It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing. You just, record a message and send it in. Again, no swearing. Make sure we can hear you and understand you, and sound off there on the Odyssey app, and we can play it back if Tommy sees it. So real nice and simple. Packers lose 13-10. We'll talk more about it coming up next, and we'll go inside the box score here on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Inside the Box Score. It's the Green Bay Football Postgame Show with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on The Fan.
That wasn't pretty. Packers lose 13-10. 13-10 to the Cleveland Browns. And you were hoping for an easier day out the office for the Green Bay Packers. But again, with that Cleveland defense, you knew it wasn't going to be that easy to go through and score. And looking at this box score justifies what we were fearing going into this with this Browns defense. If you want to dial it up and vent a little bit here, we are here for you, as always, on The Fan. All you have to do is use the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text on 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Tweet us, Facebook us as well at the Fan Milwaukee. YouTube, search Fan Milwaukee and chat with us that way as well in our dugout chat. Jordan Love, 18 of 25, 183 yards, a touchdown, and the horrible interception. Five times sacked for 34 yards. Running the football, like Tommy was bringing up early, Josh Jacobs, 16 carries, 30 yards, average less than 2 yards per carry. Emmanuel Wilson, 6 for 25. Jordan Love, 4 for 18. Matthew Golden, 3 for 9. Savion Williams, 2 for a -1. Receiving, Matthew Golden, 4 for 52. Josh Jacobs, 5 for 44. Is that the first time Jacobs has led a team in receptions in a game?
I don't even want to know if that's a real stat.
I would guess so,
oh
right?
My God.
Tucker Kraft for 3 for 29. Romeo Dobbs only 2 catches for 25 yards. Ontavian Wicks, 2 catches for 21 yards. And Fitzpatrick with the lone touchdown for the Packers, 2 catches for 12 yards there. And again, I'm happy for Fitzpatrick that he made his play.
Play action. Love on the roll. The pump. Pressure comes. He finds his open man, and it's a touchdown. John Fitzpatrick's first NFL touchdown.
Hey, you're happy for John Fitzpatrick. And Jordan Love did a great job, right? He was rolling right, trying to find somebody to make the throw to, came back across his body, found Fitzpatrick in the center of the end zone for the touchdown. Again, Love using his legs, rolling out, and making a play. And that is the positive I think that you can take away from this year so far, using his legs a lot more and feeling comfortable doing it.
Want to read a comment here from the Twitter page. If you want, make sure you guys interact with us at the Fan Milwaukee. Nate the Great tweeting in, Sparky, this game was absolutely terrible. Offense was terrible. Tommy is definitely wrong when he says this isn't Love's fault. It is, but it definitely is not all on him. MLF was the Coach Klein in Waterboy scared. And just want to comment with Nate, like, could you imagine if Jordan Love wasn't on at where he was in this game? Like, who else are you pointing to see, like, they helped move the ball in this game? No one did anything. Josh Jacobs, as you just said, reading it down the line there, he had 1.9 yards a carry in this game. Jordan Love was sacked 5 times. And as far as the everybody eats mentality of the Green Bay Packers wide receiving room, obviously that can only happen if time is created from the offensive line. I can't believe, like, I understand there are people who have been on this anti-Jordan Love phase for a long time, but you cannot say that today is mostly his fault. There is many other different areas to point to.
2 big plays. The one at the end of the third where he gets sacked, that wasn't on the offensive line. That was on him.
That was on him.
And then the interception, that's on him too.
That's on him.
So those are 2 big plays that people will point at. They're not going to talk about the rest of the game, but those are 2 big negatives.
Did anyone think Jordan Love would be sacked more than Joe Flacco in this game? Did anyone think that?
We did Confident, Concerned, and Curious on Wisconsin Sports Daily, and I said I was confident the Packers were going to get 4 sacks in this game against Joe Flacco. I thought for sure that we would see Micah Parsons get a sack and a half. I mean, he was smelling blood on Friday when he was talking about the fact that he had never sacked Flacco in his career. That maintains. Flacco was only sacked twice, both by Rashawn Gary.
Also, the Packers doubled their rushing yards allowed on the season. Yep. Quinshon Judkins, 94 yards on the ground today. He looked awesome for them. Joe Flacco had a 55 passer rating, a 55.
They did their job.
No, this is garbage. It is not did your job. He was trying to lose that game for Cleveland multiple times during the day. And the play calling at the end of it ultimately is the reason why it slips away from Green Bay.
We got to get some stuff going on over here. I'll have Tommy read a couple of these messages on the Dugout YouTube chat at the Fan Milwaukee momentarily. Back to the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line, however, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Irv, Southside, you're next on the Fan. What's up, Irv?
Hey, so I started watching this game from the beginning, and then I kind of turned it off at halftime. I just didn't see no momentum in that game. I didn't see, like the first two games, it was kind of electric. I know they were in Cleveland, but I was like, this is that game. And then with the talk of them going undefeated, I was like, this is the jinx game. Like, we done messed it up. But I blame that game on LaFleur in the end. Like, if, I hate to compare him to, like, McCarthy sometimes, but to get conservative at the end where you're in a visiting team, they kind of got the momentum because they tied the game up. You had to take at least 2 shots in the end zone, at least 2. Like, roll Jordan Love out, try to catch one of these guys in the open as they're getting away from their defender or something. Like, you can't run it 3 times. You hadn't been running the game the whole game. And I just think he blew it. I think, all year we heard about Savion Williams and how electric he is, how we can use him in, the pass game, some screens. Him and Golden should have been running screens all game long where you try to get them guys in space. That's how you beat a good pass rush. Cleveland is, their offense sucked for years, but they have a great defense.
Yep.
So I just think we blew an opportunity to, be great. Our defense played their hearts out, and I think we let them down. LaFleur let them down, actually. It was a poor game call.
Yeah, Irv, I could argue that they weren't conservative enough at the end of the ball game. Whether it is on 3rd and 1 in the end of the third or the drive that we're talking about that's right before the interception. Like, they tried to be taking too many shots in this game when they didn't really value the clock at all.
Yeah, I think we always misuse the clock. Like, we always allow that, that hope for the other team that they can come back and do something like this. So, I don't know. I just hope we show up in the Dallas game and, but we blew one.
Well, they were obviously thinking about Dallas the entire day. That's another point. Like, we've talked about it. I hit it on a little bit with Trap Game, but like completely we're looking ahead to Dallas when this game started from the beginning to the end.
Like, in what aspect? Like, we talked about this again during the week, which was, okay, if this is a trap game, then maybe you don't see the hustle to the ball as much. Maybe you don't see the energy. Maybe there's not as much intensity out there on the defensive side of the ball, but I don't know. I mean, I was watching the game. I thought the defense was pretty intense. I thought they were still flying the ball and doing their job. Like, what aspect where you went and said, man, they're kind of sleepwalking. Man, they're kind of like stuck in the mud right now. They can't figure it out.
The offensive line.
No, they're just not good.
No, that's
Jordan
garbage.
Morgan's just not that good, right? You have a rookie at right tackle.
That was the worst game of Elton Jenkins' career, too.
Maybe,
Every single pass rush was coming directly up the middle. They could never get on the same page as to who was going to be getting this guy on a stunt.
Tommy.
That they did the entire first half of the game.
Tommy. So Elton Jenkins is starting at center. What? This is his 3rd game this year starting at center?
Correct.
Right. So he's figuring that out. That's part of it. Smart dude. I'm not worried about it. He'll be fine.
Not like he played center in college.
But, okay, fine.
Yep.
But still, what's the key to the offensive line, right? We're all working together as one.
Yeah.
Getting in line and kicking at the same time and doing everything, right? Like a choir line or something. So that's what we're doing. Well, left tackle. Hey, meet Aaron Banks, who didn't play at all in preseason and training camp and continuously gets hurt and can't stay on the field. But he's going to play with you to start. Okay, cool. Then on the right side over here, Ryan's playing next to Jordan Morgan now. Last week, he was playing next to Belton and Kennard. So now here's Jordan Morgan instead. Okay, so now we're trying to work together. Then Banks goes down, and now Morgan, you're going to left guard, and now Belton's back out there. I'm just saying, like, there is a lot going on there. And then you're saying, well, Jenkins has to be better. Well, how much of it was Jenkins? How much of it was the guys next to him not doing what they were supposed to be doing? I have no idea. I just don't think you can just point at Jenkins and be like, oh, this is all on you. I think it was all on a lot of guys. Rasheed Walker had multiple penalties on him. And we haven't seen all 22 or nothing like that. But the one guy that we really didn't hear much about all day is Sean Ryan. So he might have been the guy that played the best out of everybody.
Well, yeah. I mean, thank you for being the top of the crap pile. Like, the entire offensive line was garbage today. They were in Jordan Love's grill the entire time. They showed the numbers in the middle of the game of how great he was when there wasn't pressure versus when there was pressure during the game. Like, the offensive line needs to be held accountable for this game more than anyone else. And I say the loss is on LaFleur, but the performance is on the offensive line.
Let's go to the YouTube dugout chat, Tommy Wirtz. Search the Fan Milwaukee. Watch our shows streaming here, all of our local shows. Make sure to check it out. What do you got there, Tommy Wirtz?
I got a couple. I'll go to the text line and to the dugout here. We'll start with the dugout. Mark saying that this is all on MLF. He played down to his opponent. Doug also chiming in. Matt LaFleur cannot get a team ready to play. What a loser. Brian saying that Jordan Love needs to take a pay cut. He's made so many bad decisions. We're also, honestly, a couple of Cleveland guys out here checking into, pretty trolling a little bit away. So should feel that as well if you are in the dugout chat. Mike in Cedarburg, last one here from the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. Matt LaFleur's play calling was trash. We acted like we were up 40 points the whole game, run for 2 yards over and over and over. Where were the deep middle shots to Kraft, double or triple team Garrett on first down, and open the field up a little bit? So Matt LaFleur hearing it from the fans today for sure.
So this is the thing I would like to do. I want to get a piece of paper, a pencil or a pen, and I want you to go through on Twitter, on YouTube, and write down all of the accounts that are going at Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. And let's see what happens the next time they win. Let's see if all of these accounts come back and give them praise or if they're silent. And let's see if they only talk when things go wrong. I'll give you an example. My father, who I talk to, 3, 4, 5 times a week, doesn't text me when Jordan Love plays well and the Packers win. You know who I got a text message from right now? Mad about everything. I told you we need a quarterback.
Papa Fife.
My father. And I texted him back. I'm like, you've been silent for 2 weeks about this. Now they lose. Now you want to talk about it. The other 2 weeks, not a word from my father. Not when we talked during the week. Nothing. That is what I think a lot of this is. You got a camp of, I hate LaFleur, and I'll speak when he sucks, but when they win, I will say nothing. And I hate Love, but when he does well, I will say nothing. That is what we are dealing with here.
Oh, 100%.
Plain and simple.
I completely agree with you on that take. Again, I just can't – you cannot say that Jordan Love was not the best player on the offense today. I really don't think there's anyone else.
No.
Matthew Golden had a couple of fun moments, I guess. But again, it was mostly Jordan Love giving them those opportunities. He 100% was the best player on the offense. Did the offense look good? No. So totally understand why you could be mad at his play. But if you're going to say Jordan Love was the reason why, you're wrong.
And
you're just wrong.
How many plays were negated or put him in bad situations by false starts from Jordan Morgan and everything else?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, that's the other thing nobody wants to talk about. The penalties on the offensive line between Walker and Jordan Morgan negated so much stuff and changed the play calling card of LaFleur and what they wanted to do in moments because of stupid penalties on the offensive line throughout this football game. Take a quick time. I'll come back. Packers lose 13-10. We'll go and take you to the drive of the game. Still to go. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur. We got that ready to roll. Jordan Love, Ryan Wood from the Green Bay Press-Gazette, Packers beat writer. He'll join us coming up in the next hour as well. We'll hear from players at their lockers. Lots to get to. Green Bay football post-game show. Live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM The Fan Studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
Which scoring drive was the most important in today's game? It's time for the Drive of the Game, brought to you by Focus on Energy, turning big plays into big savings for Wisconsin businesses. You're listening to the Green Bay Football Postgame Show on The Fan with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
All right, Packers lose 13-10. Heartbreaking fashion for the Packers. They got the Cowboys next. Bears putting it to them 14-3 already. Bears over the Cowboys 4 minutes to go in the first quarter of that one. Ugly so far for that Cowboys defense against this Bears offense. But Packers lose in crushing fashion 13-10. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you. Our guy Tommy Wirtz, other side of the glass. Time for Drive of the Game, Tommy Wirtz. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. This is like one of my more favorite topics to do once we have this happening. Drive of the game, there's really only one. It feels like you can use for Green Bay in this one. 14 plays, 71 yards, 7 minutes, 41 seconds taken off the clock. It was 3-3 for the longest time. Jordan Love got hooked up with a pretty good pass from Josh Jacobs, his best play of the day for 31 yards. They worked their way into the red zone. That's when John Fitzpatrick got his first career touchdown.
Play action. Love on the roll. The pump. Pressure comes. He finds his open man, and it's a touchdown. John Fitzpatrick's first NFL touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, we can all be happy about John Fitzpatrick getting in the end zone for the first time today.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, no question about it. That was a highlight courtesy of Fox 6 there.
One more thing, actually. Sorry.
We've got plenty of time. You have lots of time.
Where the hell was Luke Musgrave today? Huh? Like, did anyone
No
hear
idea.
his name at all at one point in this game?
It'll be fun
Like,
to see snap counts for Luke Musgrave.
Like, Tucker Kraft is banged up, right? Everyone thinks our life is over on Thursday when you see his knee update. And then it's, turns out to be nothing really. And he plays today. And you knew he was probably going to be in a limited role just from that news being made. But why is Luke Musgrave not getting a touchdown and John Fitzpatrick is because of this tight end position? Like, what are we doing here? Is he not ready to play? Is he not getting enough game plan? But another storyline that should be noted, that there was going to be some sort of spotlight on Luke Musgrave today, who was, mind you, drafted ahead of Tucker Kraft in the same draft.
Yep.
Totally nothing. Did we read his name in Inside the Box score? I don't even remember if we did.
No.
Yeah, great job, Luke.
No, we did not read his name whatsoever. Nikolai Lafayette talking text line. If you want to vent, we are here for you. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Twitter, Facebook, at The Fan Milwaukee. Of course, stream us, watch us on YouTube, video, shorts, all that fun stuff. You can chat away in our dugout, The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. Not Michael, sorry, I'm right the wrong one. Tyler tweets that says, MLF, meaning Matt LaFleur, is a master of outsmarting himself. Always tries to do some moronic gambit that makes him look more like an idiot than a genius. Can we talk about one aspect that I was very happy about with Matt LaFleur today? When he threw the challenge flag for having 12 guys on the field, and he was right. You could say, oh, my God, all you want. He loses far more than he wins on challenges.
Yeah, back-to-back challenge successful. Thanks, Matt.
Yes,
Thanks.
So at least he got that one right? That's okay. Good job, Matt. You caught him, because that would have been change of downs. They would have had a punt at that point coming off of that love sack and through the flag. They were right, so I feel like that's a good thing as well. Joe tweets at The Fan Milwaukee, take the assistant head coach style from Rich Bisaccia and hand it to Jeff Hafley with quickness. What say you to that, Tommy Wirtz?
Say it one more time. I had something playing in my ear.
Pull the assistant head coaching title from Bisaccia and give it to Hafley right now.
Does that matter? Like, do you think Rich Bisaccia has any more authority than he does because he's the assistant head coach?
He has more responsibility. He has
no way he does.
He absolutely
no,
has
it's
to.
because he was a head coach when they brought him in, and they were like, oh, you know what? Let me give this, old guy some sort of title that makes him feel a little bit better about his job. You know who was the special teams coordinator back at Cudahy? The guy they didn't want to touch anything else a part of the team. It's the same exact thing they're doing.
You might be listening.
That's
kind of
shout out Coach Dan. Shout out Coach Dan. I got no problem with Coach Dan.
You just killed him.
No, I'm just saying that Rich Bisaccia being named the assistant head coach means absolutely nothing. I want you to ask Ryan Wood if that should be what happens after this game, because that means absolutely nothing. There's nothing that Rich Bisaccia is doing. You want to know what also proves that? All the guys we thought that were going to make this team on the 53-man roster because of their role in special teams and how it could help out, that means nothing. Rich Bisaccia does not have any input on anything other than, hey, can you get some guys to block on a field goal? Hey, can you get some guys to go out there and return a punt? And he can't even do that correctly. No way assistant head coach has anything to do with it. It's a way to justify why he gets paid so much to be the special teams coordinator.
Really? You really have strong feelings about this, huh? I guess I didn't have as strong of feelings as you did about Bisaccia and associate head coach versus Hafley. Fact of the matter is, though, if you want to keep Hafley at all costs, that might be one way to do it at the end of the day, right? That might be one way. I am closely monitoring something else. The Brewers lose 5-1. However, everything is tarped off inside of their clubhouse right now in St. Louis as the Cubs have 2 outs. They're losing 1-0 in the top of the 9th to the Reds. So they are 1 away.
Yeah, they'll probably block the home run, take it back for a triple or whatever, football terms with baseball. It's stupid. Who cares?
What do you mean, who cares?
Who cares?
You're very negative. They're going to win the NL Central here.
Yeah, on a loss. Like,
They're
that's so
win the NL Central.
Loser talk.
They're going to party in the clubhouse.
Don't care. Don't matter. Doesn't matter to me at all. Just everything is garbage today. Garbage.
Another runner on. So now 2 on, 2 outs.
Oh, great. Yeah. You know what? This is all your fault today. Everything that's happening now is turning into your fault because who's batting? Who's up?
Who's up next? I'm not sure here. Hold on. I got to look and see.
Because this will be the Kyle Tucker, Pete Crow Armstrong, whoever at the plate right now, too, right? That's what you're going to tell me?
I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. 2 outs. I think Michael Busch walked, I think. Yeah. So Busch walked, Ballesteros to second base, which means it should be Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oh,
I think
of course.
Possibly.
Of course.
I think it might be. Yeah, it is Pete Crow Armstrong.
Oh, I knew it. I told you. This is just all adding up to garbage for you right now. Oh, I didn't even mix down any of the losing ones.
I get it.
Oh, I didn't even think that was going to happen.
Nope.
Great.
No, I did
Awesome.
not. No. Packers lose 13-10. They are watching the Cubs game in the Cardinals clubhouse right now. Are the Brewers waiting to see if they're going to celebrate or not after they lose 5-1 and win the NL Central. We'll give you updates on that. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, Ryan Wood, all straight ahead here on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show, live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here.
Turn this garbage off.
Yeehaw! The Brewers are your NL Central champions.
Everyone's gonna turn
How
this off.
about
We're-
it,
no.
Brewers? Yeah, let's go now.
This is
Let's
garbage.
turn it around.
I do not
Let's
condone
go. Here we go. Thank you, Chicago Cubs. Thank you, Trader,
this.
for blowing it yet again. 2 years in a row, paid all that money. They don't win the division either year.
You are coping.
The celebration in the Brewers locker room is zilch.
None.
People walking around with bottles. Nobody's spraying anything. Somebody's got goggles on. I don't know what for what because nothing's really happening. It's the most tame NL Central Division champion celebration, I think, in the history
As it
of
should.
the. Well, they lost 5-1 today.
Correct.
Right.
So don't celebrate.
I gotta celebrate. It's not easy to win the NL Central every year. It's not easy. Just
Every
like Packer
year,
fans.
as you just
Just like Packer fans, take it for granted when they won the NFC North every year with Brad and Aaron, so forth. It's not as easy anymore with the Detroit Lions. You got to appreciate these things when they happen. Give them some love, Tommy Wirtz. This will help you cope with losing to the Browns 13-10 today.
You should all feel what happened
No,
today.
this should make us feel
bad.
better. This will make us feel better. This will help us get through it at the end of the day that the Packers lost 13-10. It is the Green Bay
and the
Football
Brewers also
postgame show.
lost.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? That doesn't even matter. But what does matter is the Brewers are NL Central champs. Yeah, the Packers lost as well. You can talk about either one. You want to be happy? Celebrate the Brewers? I'm here for you. Tommy might not be, but I'm here. Big, warm, open hug. Come on. Come hug Sparky. I'm right here for you. We'll celebrate the
Who
Brewers
are
together.
You are the most
And then-
anti-hug of all
And
time.
well, it's like, it's not literal. It's like, through YouTube type thing, right? Put your big arms around it. Right. You can do it that way. Right.
I'm
Not
gonna
like
vomit.
literal, like hugging of thunder or something like that. I'm not doing that. But no, something like that. Yeah. So you can go either way you want to go. You want to celebrate the Brewers? Woo-hoo! You want to boo the Packers? Boo. Fine. Whatever. You can do what you want. I'm leaving it wide open to you. 414-677-1250. 414-677 Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. Again, 414-677-1250. Tweet us as well at the Fan Milwaukee. And there is your celebration for the Green Bay Packers, rightfully deserved. And there were positives, in this game. Like this dude here played well. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know if it's all updated yet, but I'd venture to think he's near the top, if not at the top of the league in sacks this season so far. Rashawn Gary has been and was a bright spot to today,
But-
as the Packers just totally blew it away, and you should be so disappointed in the performance they played.
But wait a second. That highlight courtesy of Fox. But a lot of that is because of Micah Parsons, right? We will agree that a lot of this is Micah Parsons related. Parsons had a couple pressures today, which was fine. He didn't get the sack of Flacco, which is fine. But when you start to see some of these other guys, Rashawn Gary has never had double-digit sacks in his career. He's going to have double-digit sacks this year
At
if
this
he's
rate.
healthy,
Yeah.
right?
At this pace, yeah, he should. And I actually will say that I think it's a little more of the growth of Rashawn Gary than it is the impact of Micah Parsons. I think he's done enough when he's not on the field that has proved that Rashawn Gary is a better football player this season than he has been in the last, 5 for Green Bay. I don't think that's totally unrealistic either. And I felt like today was, again, we're talking about where was he? Like Lucas Van Ness vanished today. Again, didn't see much out of him.
Right.
I thought that was promising over the last 2 weeks. But Rashawn Gary, who, again, I have no shade or not shying away from how I have been maybe one of his biggest haters on the radio. I think he has taken a jump this year, regardless of Micah Parsons, because he's got a handful already to this year, even when he's not been on the field.
The other part about this too is the scheming that you have of Jeff Hafley for this defense, running stunts, doing different things, standing Micah Parsons up, picking his spots of where he wants to run and how he wants to attack these guys, all good things, I think, for this Packers defense. And I know some of you were mad. Oh, he should have knocked it down, Sparky. He shouldn't have caught the interception at the end of the half. But this was a cool play, too. There you go. That interception there by Xavier McKinney. And again, even the announcers on Fox. Well, if he knocks it down, they got a shot to get 3.
And that's garbage.
Just like 98, 99% of dudes are going to catch that ball for multiple reasons. One, an interception helps to make you money. You're judged as a DB on interceptions when you're talking about Hall of Fame, Pro Bowl, All Pro, all that other stuff. Again, end of game, Hail Mary, knock it down. Totally agreed. Everybody should knock it down. I'm with you. Asked the Bears against Washington last year. So, yes, I agree with you there. This situation here, man, just catch the ball. Like, whatever. I that doesn't bother me nearly as much as what apparently it bothers everybody else. All right, let's hear from the Packers head coach, Matt LaFleur, because I am interested to see how mad Matt LaFleur might truly be in this one.
He looked like he was going to cry the entire time. I don't know how it sounded necessarily away.
He always looks like he's going to cry after a loss.
He looked like he was going to
cry. He lost to the Browns. I mean, I get it. If you do cry, I mean, I don't cry, but I guess I get it. Here we go.
Into field goal range, it's tough. It's tough to deal with, but you better learn from each and every opportunity that you go out there and in the wins and in the losses, and you got to move on. So, I thought there were a lot of things, a lot of positives in regards to how our defense competed and played through 4 quarters. But one thing that we have to get corrected is, when you have 14 penalties in a game, it's going to be tough to overcome that. So we got to do a much better job of coaching the fundamentals, the details, and then we got to lock in at a higher level in regards to some of the controllable penalties, whether it's false starts or offsides or whatever you have. But ultimately, this is a total team sport. I thought we played well enough defensively to win the game, and didn't do a good enough job on offense and on special teams. Yeah, so they were playing man coverage, and the guy Delpit did a hell of a job. He passed off Tuck to the inside backer, and he fell off in the window. So, that's a bad play call. We shouldn't have called that play. That's on me. Yeah, but a lot of teams will do that when they're playing man free. They'll pass off an inside breaking route and then fall into that next window. So, it's just a bad play call. And what's unfortunate is our defense was doing so well, and we knew we couldn't make a deadly mistake like that offensively to give them a short field, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, we did. We absolutely did. We figured we'd have man coverage, which we got, and they did better than we did. So give credit to their staff and their players to go out there and execute it.
In a general sense, it seems like everybody's problem the line of scrimmage on your offense, or bringing people up. What do you have to do? Why haven't you been able to make them pay for that more? What do you have to do?
Well, we number one, I think early on they were getting to the quarterback. So a lot of those longer developing routes, if you're going to play man coverage, you got to be able to protect a little bit better. And I think it felt like from my perspective that he was under duress for the majority of the game. And so we got to look at just some of the things that we're asking our guys to do in terms of protection scheme. We got to do it better. We got to come up with better stuff for our guys to put them in better positions to go out there and compete.
What happened in today's game? It's time to go inside the locker room with Packers beat writer Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Gazette on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan.
All right, here he is, Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, joining us now after the Packers lose 13-10. You heard you from Matt LaFleur there for a little bit. Good news is the NL Central champion Milwaukee Brewers clinch and make it real. Pat Murphy's talking right now to his team before they start the celebration. Goggles are on, ready to roll. I know Ryan wishes he was there versus stuck in Cleveland, Ohio, but it is what it is. Your thoughts initially on what you saw today, Ryan Wood?
Well, first of all, you know the definition of setting me up for failure. Yeah, let's put me on to discuss this game and have me compete with Pat Murphy. That's the definition of setting me up for
Tommy
failure.
doesn't even care about the Brewers right now. He thinks I shouldn't be celebrating the Brewers. He doesn't want to talk about the Brewers. He wants to just be mad all day. So that's what he wants.
I do want to note something here from the comments that we also didn't bring up. Dennis brings up a great point. They had 10 days to prepare for this performance today.
True.
Ryan, continue. Sorry.
I think the question is whether or not this was a lesson or a loss. I don't know that we really have much of an idea of what this was right now in the moment, but I am very confident we're going to know soon, right? How do they come out next week in Dallas? How do they come out of their bye? Was this a lesson or was this a loss? If it's a loss, hold the presses, slow your horses. Maybe this team isn't actually that good. Maybe the offensive line and the issues up there are going to be a problem. There were long stretches of this game today that I felt like I was back in 2024 watching the same offense that couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. Is that going to persist? Or was this a lesson? Is this something that you don't want this to have happen, but chances are in this league, every team is going to, no matter how good you are, this is going to happen. You're going to hit adversity. You'd rather that happen in week 3 than January. Is this a lesson that doesn't matter how talented you are, if you don't show up, you don't win. And you better show up, because they didn't today, even against the Cleveland Browns. You're not going to walk away from that game with a win. So that's what's on my mind. I asked Jordan Love point blank, do you feel like this team bought into the internal hype? And he said, no, and other guys around the locker room kind of said the same thing. And sometimes when that is an issue, you'll hear at least a guy or two say that. I think that there was a lot of fluky elements, especially in the end, that happened. But at the end of the day, those fluky elements came from they didn't execute. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you don't execute, you don't win.
You're right. That's exactly what happens. And I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. I think the other part about this is talking about this offensive line. I mean, you have 2 offensive linemen that were questionable coming into this game. I spoke all week about I'm not rushing them to play against freaking Cleveland, especially to do with an oblique and Zach Tom. Been saying it and saying it. I think I said it to you too. And Zach Tom goes out there last 1 snap and out he goes for the rest of the game. Banks made it longer with his groin thing, and then he is out as well. Morgan goes from right tackle to left guard. Then Belton, the rookie, is back out there at right tackle. It was an absolute disaster with the offensive line.
I mean, yes, with how this unfolded, it's very easy to say Zach Tom should not have played today. He lasted 1 snap. He had no business being on the field.
Which I said all week. Yep.
You did. But on the flip side of that, Sparky, you also saw why they wanted Zach Tom to play today, why they wanted him to be able to gut it out, because they knew that Cleveland Browns defensive front was fierce. Jordan Love sacked 5 times in the first 3 quarters. Yep. Only the second time in his career he's been sacked 5 times in a game. The only other time that happened, week 4 of 2023, you remember early in that 2023 season, he still had that deer in the headlights thing. He was still trying to figure it out in this league. So little different than where he is right now. That Browns defensive front was as advertised. It is a terrible Browns offense. So when you think the Cleveland Clowns, right, that offense is so bad it's going to be hard for them to win many games this season, even with the win today. It's not the defense. That defense is legit. It's for real. And they absolutely took it to this Packers offensive line. So I understand why they wanted Zach Tom out there. That makes sense. But for him to last 1 snap, no. clearly he should not have been on the field.
What happened? I mean, for so many years, they would hold guys back longer than they should to make sure they were healthy. Last year, they rushed back Jair. He gets hurt even longer. And now this year, we have this again happen.
I don't want to speculate on what this was, if this is similar to Jair Alexander or not. I approached Zach Tom in the locker room after the game. He didn't want to talk about it. So we'll hear from him this week. I don't know what happened yet. But one snap speaks for itself. If you can only give one snap,
yes,
you shouldn't be on the field.
Correct. Absolutely correct. 1,000%. Let's talk about the job of Josh Jacobs. I mean, he averages under 2 yards a carry, but he leads the team in receptions. I didn't go through and look at every box score from last year, but I'd have to imagine this is the first time Josh Jacobs had led the team in receptions as far as number of catches. Probably not a good thing when he's leading you in receptions.
It's not a good thing. And like I said, this felt like late 2024 all over again, where they didn't have Christian Watts on the field. Obviously, Christian Watts is on the field today. He's still coming back from the torn ACL. Not having Jayden Reed might be a bigger deal than I thought it would be. And not that he's a good playmaker. He's important to this offense. I thought there were enough pieces around Jordan Love just to be able to put together a competent passing game without him and survive this injury. Today was not a good arbiter of that happening. Like, you don't have Christian Watson, you don't have Jayden Reed, and then you don't have a passing game, and your running back's your leading receiver. Like it's not good. With that said, the best thing Jordan Love had been doing almost through 3 full games this season, by far, was taking care of the football. That was the end all be all. With this defense especially, you just be efficient. You just take care of the ball. You manage the game. You're going to win a lot of games, because it was really, really difficult for the Cleveland Browns to actually get in position to score points. And then 3 minutes to go, you throw it directly at a Brown safety. Like, it's only one turnover. That's all he's had through 3. But the worst time to have your first turnover. That can't happen. Those are game-losing plays, and there were too many of them today.
But Ryan, like, the offense, where do you point at all for anyone other than Jordan Love for being able to do anything today?
You know, it's easy to say Zach Tom shouldn't have been out there. I don't know where Tucker Kraft was. He just had this huge game, and he played today. He made plays when given the opportunity. He only had 4 targets, 3 catches. I was surprised that if he's going to be on the field, I thought that he'd be a bigger part of this passing game. I do think that the best play that they had all day is Jordan Love throwing from his end zone, 35 yards to Matthew Golden. Right. I think that is something positive to build on, because you finally hit Matthew Golden deep. That is going to be not surprising for any rookie receiver, first-time receiver working with a new quarterback. It takes time to get that rhythm and timing. But it's positive that you're starting to see signs of that. That's something that they need to build. And without Jayden Reed on the field, they're going to have plenty of targets and opportunity to do that. That was promising. But the thing I was maybe most surprised by in the passing game, other than the total lack of protection around Jordan Love, was Tucker Kraft not being a big part of this game. If he's going to be out there, he's your best receiver. You got to go to him.
I agree with you on that. The other part about this, too, when we talk about this, on with Ryan Wood, the Green Bay Press-Gazette Packers beat writer, joins us after every game here in the Green Bay Football Postgame Show. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you here on The Fan. Follow him on Twitter at @ByRyanWood. Is the whole idea of this defense and that interception at the end of the half. Right away, the announcers on Fox were critical of, if he just knocks that down, they have a chance to maybe get in field goal range and attempt a field goal. And I tweeted out, man, what a great interception by Xavier McKinney. And people were livid at me. And as I pointed out, listen to me, 98 to 9% of guys in that situation at the end of a half are taking that interception. They get paid for interceptions. They're judged for Pro Bowls and all pros and future contracts by interceptions. End of a game, Hail Mary, knock it down, fine. Everybody will buy in. I just don't think many guys in this situation of Xavier McKinney are thinking to knock it down at that point.
I wondered the same thing after the play, and then I looked up, and there were 2 seconds left on the score clock. 2 seconds is not enough time to run a play and get into field goal range. Maybe you have a shot at a Hail Mary. How high are your chances of completing a Hail Mary? So it didn't really matter. Bigger than that, you are asking a professional athlete to do something against their nature. The reason Xavier McKinney is great what makes him the best safety in the league is when he sees a ball in the air, he knows it's his ball and he goes and gets it.
Yep.
You're asking him to then go against his basic nature. I don't think that's fair to Xavier McKinney. So bottom line, it didn't affect the game in any way. 2 seconds was not enough time to do anything in that situation other than throw a prayer to the end zone. Let Xavier McKinney be Xavier McKinney.
When we talk about this game, and we'll be talking about it obviously all week. Tomorrow you'll be with Mason Crosby and our guy Mitch Thunder Nellis and Tommy Wirtz tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. I'm just curious, do you think fan reaction is going to be to blame Matt LaFleur for this one?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, what we talked about at the very beginning, they had 10 days to prepare for this game, and they came out and they did not provide a competent offensive product. It was bad. And I understand that Cleveland Browns defense is very good, but it was still a very bad product that they had on offense. And that has to get better. You're sitting on the golden ticket with this Packers defense. You get 20 points, you win games every single week. You have to get 20 points. There's no excuse not to, no matter who you're playing. No matter who's not playing for you, you have to go out there and get 20 points. That has to happen. So yeah, as far as the totality, of course, there's going to be overreaction. This is an overreaction league. I'm just sitting here and I'm wondering what we're going to see next. I think that ultimately is what's going to matter. It's a costly lesson if it's a lesson. Every game in this league is valuable, especially when you're a team that believes you have a chance to make a Super Bowl run. You want all the wins you can because, hey, we just saw it in the first 3 weeks. All right? Small sample size, but a big difference with this team playing inside Lambeau Field and this team playing on the road. You want those January playoff games to be on the road. You want the path to the Super Bowl to go through Green Bay. You got to win week 3 games to be able to do that. But what happens next is ultimately going to be what's most important. If this is a wake-up call, maybe this team could be even more dangerous. I mean, there is a real silver lining here, but it doesn't just happen automatically. They have to actually go out there and make that happen.
Yeah, come out, get a big win here against Dallas. Feel good about yourself. The Bengals got absolutely annihilated by the Vikings today. You get them out of the bye week at Lambeau, so still in position to have a really good record after 7 or 8 games for sure. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. We'll hear you tomorrow at 1 o'clock on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Leonard Ellis, presented by Verizon.
All right, take care, guys.
Take care. There he is, Ryan Wood. Follow him on Twitter at @ByRyanWood. And you're thinking to yourself, Mason Crosby, 1 o'clock. What is going on? Brand new lineup, people. Brand new lineup tomorrow. 6 a.m. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht from 6 to 9. A new fun morning show for you here on The Fan. 9 to noon with Coon. That's right. Former Packer fullback and sideline radio analyst for the Green Bay Packers. He will be on with the longtime fan host, Rami Makloff. So John Coon, Rami Makloff, 9 to noon each and every day. Noon to 2, Mason Crosby with Mitch Thunder Nellis. And then 2 to 5, it is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. And then 5 to 6, another brand new show, The Fan Post Game, every day, 5 to 6. Clips from throughout the day with Tommy Wirtz, instant analysis of what he heard throughout the day as well, as he'll host that show every night from 5 until 6. And of course, we still have the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, to get you through the rest of the regular season and into the postseason. So keep it locked in here to The Fan. Lots and lots of local sports talk ahead for you. Packers lose 13-10, but the Brewers are NL Central champs.
What play or plays changed today's game? It's time for the turning point of the game on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on The Fan.
Well, this will be good. Turning point of the game in a Packers 13-10 loss to the Cleveland Browns. Is it the interception? Is that what lost the turning point of the game? The Jordan Love interception? Is it the big sack at the end of the third quarter? Is that where momentum shifts? Where is the turning point in this loss for you, Mr. Tommy Wirtz?
I mean, it's the blocked field goal. No,
at the very end.
Don't you
feel like momentum completely shifted before that, though?
The turning point of the game was Zach Tom getting hurt on the very first play.
We didn't realize that at the point.
That also could have been noted as a turning point in this game. There's so many moments to point to of like, you can't have that happen. And again, I think that if we're really going to say one specific play, it's got to be the block kick at the end. I'm not. The other stuff happened, yeah, and it was bad, but it was a 43-yard kick to win the game.
There was nothing positive in the fourth quarter for this team.
Nothing.
So when they blocked the kick, it was like pretty much how the whole fourth quarter went. That's why I wonder that sack at the end of the third quarter, if that wasn't the turning point, if that didn't like kind of swing momentum. The interception certainly did.
Right.
Like there ain't no question that changed the complete momentum.
The Browns
of the game.
never put together a drive that was really, they had the field goal drive as well, but I mean they didn't really go down the field on their touchdown drive, right? I mean, their offense wasn't doing anything. Like the interception 100% looks bad, but Jordan Love also led his offense down the field for a very makeable field goal chance that then his special teams unit, assistant head coach team unit did not give any sort of help to either.
All right, so the Packers lose 13-10, but the Brewers win the NL Central. They clinch it today, partying, celebrating. Murphy, Yelich, Frelick all talking on FanDuel Sports
Can we play any
Network.
highlights from that game they played today? No, because there was nothing.
We can play the highlights from them talking after the game, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
great.
we'll hear from Pat Murphy. I want to do that before we get out of here. I think it'd be good to hear from Brewers manager, the skipper, Pat Murphy. We don't have to be all negative. Listen, once the Brewers are done, there'll be no way to escape the negativity of after a Packers loss. There'll be no way to escape it. But the Brewers won. Let's take advantage of it. Let's have some happiness, some kumbaya, some joy, some love in our life, Tommy Wirtz.
I'm going to take the Drew Wagner approach.
Oh, that's the worst approach to take, just in general in life. Like, don't follow the Drew Wagner mad at the world approach. Just follow the Sparky, happy, joy approach. That's what we're looking for. Jordan Love talked after this 13-10 loss.
No, we're running triple slant concept, and they're man coverage, and I'm trying to work Wicks right there, number 2, and the safety that was guarding Tucker, fell off that, passed it off, and got in the window right there, and I didn't even see him. So, it was a really tough play, especially in the circumstances of the timing of the game right there. So, one we're just gonna have to learn from, move on.
Is that an automatic throw, like boom, throw it, or what other options would you have had there?
No, it's a quick game. So, it's taking that left-right footwork and throwing it. Obviously, I'm trying to get it out, but it's one of those, you got to be able to see him falling off. He did a great job making a play. I didn't see him. But something I've seen before. I got to find a way to see him.
Did you feel, was there pressure on that? Like, did they bring in extra guys or?
No, I think it was just 4-man rush. So I'm not sure. One of those ones I got to look at in film. But no, it's just one of those plays that, I got to feel him falling off. Yeah, it's one of those things. It was tough. I think give them credit. They're a really good defense. I will say that. They do a lot of really good things, but I think the tough part for us is I feel like we're hurting ourselves more than anything with some of the penalties and just the little things. I feel like we were putting some good drives together, but at the end of the day, I feel like we just hurt ourselves a little too much. But like I said, give them credit. They're a good defense. We got to find ways to be able to go out there and take advantage of what they're doing.
It seems like teams are crowding so far. 3 games, but crowding the line of scrimmage quite a bit. What do you have to do to make them pay a stiffer price for that?
Yeah, that's when you got to hit shots down the field. But I think, looking at Cleveland's defense, that's their MO. That's what they want to do. They want to put extra hats in the box and stop the run. and force you to pass it. And they're going to play man and do different things and try and let the rush win. So we know that coming into the game, and that's what we're going to have to beat.
During that, I think it was one that Denzel Ward tipped, I think it was an out to Wicks. So right before that, you have a false start. And so it's 3rd and 9 instead of 3rd and 4. Is that the same play you would have done, or 3rd and 4 you probably done something different? And how did Ward play that?
Yeah, it was the same play we run on the play before. There in man coverage, he was rolling across with Wicks, and he did a good job. I think staying inside and just driving on that outbreaker. Obviously wish I would have been able to, just get it out quicker, put it out a little bit more, but he made a great play right there. But, that's one of those things where, crucial penalty right there that just moves us back, something that's an area we're going to have to clean up.
Was that about as much shuffling on the offensive line and moving on the fly as you've seen around, and you can deliver, and if so, what's the challenge there?
Yeah, there was definitely, things that happened, Zach getting injured right there, Banks going out. So, we were shuffling guys around, but I think the first 2 games, that's kind of how it's been. Guys have shuffled in and done some good things. So it's one of those things. It's that next man up mentality. Everybody that suits up, be ready to play. And I think those guys did a good job coming in on those short notice plays. But it's tough.
What's your thinking leaving this game? You guys, I know it's early, but you came in riding pretty high. Parsons in. Your first 2 games, playing an 0-2 team, and you put up a poor performance, especially on offense. What do you think of coming out of this?
Man, it's tough. It's a tough loss for sure. I think any loss is a tough loss. I think, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to clean up and improve on going forward. But it's one of those things, adversity hit. It's going to hit at some point, hit early on right now, and we're just going to have to do a great job of moving on, finding ways to clean up the areas that we need to clean up. And move on to next week. It's a long season. It's the NFL. We know what it is. But it's definitely a tough loss, something that we're just going to have to grow from and move on and bounce back. But, adversity is going to strike at some point in the season, and it, struck today.
There was a lot of hype now, the first 2 games for you guys surrounding this team coming into today. Do you feel like internally you guys might have bought into that maybe a little too much?
Not at all. Not at all. I think we know what we are. We're a good team. We're still a good team. Like I said, this is a tough loss, but it's one we're just going to have to move on from, grow from, and obviously move on to next week.
See, that's just it, people. That's it. It's 1 loss. You play 17 games. It's 1 loss. Does it suck? Yes. When you took out the schedule and you looked at it, did you think Jordan Love and the Packers would lose to the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland? No. When you heard Joe Flacco was going to be the quarterback for the Browns this year, did you think they would lose in Cleveland? Absolutely not. When we talked about it all week, did you think Joe Flacco was a dead duck? Did you think Joe Flacco would be sacked 5 or 6 times? Absolutely you did, because I did too. Did it happen? No. They were without their right tackle and without their left tackle, by the way, in that game, because Conklin didn't play, and they lost the other tackle during the game. So they also were playing with a banged up offensive line in that one as well. But again, they got more out of their running game with that rookie from Ohio State than the Packers did out of theirs with Josh Jacobs. Like, that was a noticeable difference between the two. The other thing that plays into all of this as well is, Ryan Wood brought it up, how can Tucker Kraft be so dominant in 1 week and then the next week kind of be a forgotten soul? Maybe he was covered. Maybe they were doubling him. Won't know all of that.
Maybe he was banged up.
Maybe he was banged up, but until we see the All-22, I have no idea. But when the game started, I was like, okay, maybe this is Matthew Golden game. Maybe we're going to get Matthew Golden going here offensively. And really, they never got anybody going offensively in the passing game other than Josh Jacobs. And on that one possession,
was 1 play.
I understand that 30 yards, right? And we have that 1 play from Josh Jacobs as well.
So 2nd and 18. It's Jacobs. Jacobs across the 30, breaking free. Jacobs with a first down and more into Cleveland territory. All the way down to the 48, 31 yards down that left sideline.
But he did have 5 catches. He had 5 catches to lead the team in receptions. That highlight courtesy of Fox 6 there. But again, you average under 2 yards per carry. I will give Matt LaFleur a lot of credit on this.
Oh, God.
He didn't bail. Now, if that would have been McCarthy, they would have quit after 8 rush attempts, went to shotgun, spread them out, and would have been throwing the rest of the game. And he did not bail on Jacobs. He did not bail on the ground game, and they couldn't get him going on the ground, so they tried to throw him the ball a little bit more to get that offense going. I don't have a problem necessarily with LaFleur and kind of what he was doing offensively, other than the fact of maybe you overcommitted a little bit too much to stopping one player by putting like 3 dudes on him instead of just dealing with it kind of going forward. And then what happens? You got guys running untouched up the middle on blitzes from the linebacker position and Love having no time. That to me was the big difference maker. He overcommitted.
I think that there is no room for compliments for Matt LaFleur's coaching performance.
There's
today.
always room.
And if you want to give him an attaboy for getting a challenge correct 2 weeks in a row.
I did earlier, yes.
Yeah, then
I did,
sure, there's your compliment. But other than that, the offense, the one play to Matthew Golden, the one check down to Josh Jacobs where he makes a play happen, that's not Matt LaFleur. Like, that was not, because if it was, he would have showcased it more today. And you have this approach you are taking where it's going to be a bunch of young guys, and I do not care. I do not want to hear about youngest team in the NFL. I don't care. It does not matter. I've heard it 3 years now. It's the same players. Like, let's be real.
But it does affect depth, and that is why you have a second-year guy and a rookie coming in when there's 2 injuries on the offensive line, and the second-year player didn't play for a good part of last year. That is part of what goes into your struggles on that offensive line. Now, maybe Jordan Morgan's just not good. Okay, maybe that's the case. I don't know. But I'm just saying that is part of it. If you aren't the youngest team, and if your backups are 2 guys that are 8 and 10-year vets, you probably don't have as many issues on the offensive line. Don't you think that's fair? That's a fair assessment?
I cut up Pat Murphy and Christian Yelich for you.
Thank you. And we will play that before we leave. But coming up next, we'll hear from Brandon McManus. We'll hear from Micah Parsons. Straight ahead, Packers lose 13-10. Brewers are NL Central champions. That'll put a smile on your face. Green Bay football post-game show live from the 1250 AM 105.7 FM The Fan Studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. See Sparky Fifer with you and a grumpy Tommy Wirtz.
was the most valuable player for Green Bay today?
On three. 1, 2, 3.
Who stood out the most?
Here we go.
It's time to announce the MVP of the game on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on The Fan.
All right, here we go. Packers lose 13-10. Sparky with you. Tommy Wirtz, other side of the glass. Yes, the Packers lose, but the Brewers win the NL Central. So there's a little happiness, a little positivity for you. They're still celebrating and throwing stuff all over each other. I think that's all beer. Throwing stuff all over each other as they lose today 5-1 to the Cardinals, but the Cubs lose to the Reds, so they clinch. Can you do me a favor? Can you update and see what the games are between them and the Phillies now for that one seed in the NL? I'm curious that I didn't see
three coming into today. The Phillies are losing 6-0 currently to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
More happiness, more positivity, Tommy Wirtz. I'm going to get you to smile yet about this. It's all right. See, you don't have to be down in the dumps the rest of the day because the Packers lost to the Browns. Be happy for the Milwaukee Brewers winning the NL Central.
They beat the Cardinals today?
Who cares if they beat the Cardinals? God,
their magic number was 1 coming into today.
And they won.
Yes, they did not win.
They won
got
the NL Central.
Okay.
They won the NL Central.
All right.
The Packers lost, fine. Who's the MVP of the game? I'll give you my vote right now. I don't think there's really another choice, to be honest with you.
3rd down. Flacco with protection. It breaks down, and he's sacked. Rashawn Gary got there for the second time today. 4.5 on the year for the former Michigan Wolverine.
It's got to be Rashawn Gary. 2 sacks? How's there any other MVP other than Rashawn Gary?
Oh, no, I think you're completely right. I mean, just eye tests completely alone, plus the numbers back it up. Quay Walker was everywhere today, too. Like, should be noted, like 14 tackles is awesome for Quay. But, yeah, I don't know where else you would even think to go other than Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary looked like a stud today, absolutely. So I'll give him his flowers on that for sure.
All right, very good. So Rashawn Gary, your MVP here on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show with myself, C. Sparky Pfeiffer. Other side of the glass, it is Tommy Wirtz. Let's hear from Micah Parsons, who still has not sacked Joe Flacco in his career.
Like that didn't follow most people's scripts today. How would you describe what happened?
We just, it's like a movie sometimes how football works. I just think towards the end of the game we play better than us, and we got to play all 4 quarters of football as a team. Like, not one individual and not specific people. As a team, we have to finish games. We had a chance, multiple chances to end the game. We didn't do that, so we have to come back and get the details. We can't just play first half, can't just play 3rd quarter, fourth quarter.
How's that movie going to work? The defensive movie going to work today? Obviously did a lot right, but didn't win the game.
Yeah, that happens. Obviously the goal is execution. Like, for example, they didn't break their first long run to the floor. We got to fix that. Just like take accountability when it's there. For myself, I take accountability. 2 offsides is unacceptable for myself, for this team. Just things that we shouldn't be doing, I shouldn't be doing. It's just unacceptable. And, I fully apologize for my actions.
Yeah, the longest completion they had until the 4th quarter was 17 yards or 1 maybe. And then Judkins gets 2 runs from 14 to 13. They do something different. You guys spread out more. How do you feel?
It's my mistake. We just make mistakes. We try to end the game, play, and sometimes it breaks. So, you never know how things happen, but at the end of the day, the nature of the game is finished. We didn't finish today.
That is true. You did not finish. There's Micah Parsons talking after the game today. Packers 13-10 loss to the Cleveland Browns. Don't forget, brand new lineup tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht. A brand new, fun 9 a.m. Morning show. Trevor Thomas from the Inside Wisconsin podcast with him and John Anderson, the Sports Center anchor from ESPN. That's what you may know him from. Him and Josh Albrecht are going to be very good together. They were both on the Mason Crosby show earlier this week, right?
Middays with Thunder.
Yes. Oh, Middays with Thunder.
That's why it would have been the Mason Crosby show if we were
The new
doing
lineup,
time tomorrow.
But you heard them both together. They're going to be good.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a fun show for sure.
And that's on 6 to 9 starting tomorrow morning. Then 9 to noon with Kuhn. That's right. John Kuhn, former Packer fullback, along with longtime fan host Rami Makloff. They'll be together. Brandon Snide, longtime producer in the market, brought him in here as well. So he'll be producing. So that's 9 to noon there. Then in their noon time slot, Mason Crosby show with Mitch Thundernellis, brought to you by Verizon. Tommy Wirtz as well, noon to 2. And then the boring Wisconsin Sports Daily show served up by Wendy's. Charlie and I pull up the rear 2 to 5. And then the excitement comes back to the airways from 5 to 6 with Tommy Wirtz hosting the fan post-game show. And that gives you kind of like the highlights, the hits of the day from the fan that you may have missed from earlier in the day with Tommy's spin on the different things that were said throughout the day. Again, from 5 to 6 each day. So local sports talk all day, 6A to 6P. Plus, with the Brewers still going after being named NL Central champs today, we'll still have the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wirtz, 1 hour before every Brewers game rest of the year and into the postseason as well. So it is going to be a lot of fun there. I told you I do not want to leave without a little Brewers audio. Since the Brewers did win the NL Central, I feel like it's necessary to play a little bit of Pat Murphy after this one. Pat Murphy in the clubhouse after the win, and people are celebrating, yelling, and screaming, and Sophia's doing her best job on FanDuel Sports Network to talk to Pat Murphy.
You told this team that they've been resilient, they've been undaunted. To do this 3 years in a row, and now 5 times since 2018, what does that say about the caliber of how you guys have competed?
Like I've always said, it's about the who that's in the room. And these are the right guys. They know how to play. They know how to win. They know how to bounce back. That's what's special.
Well, Yelly's been in the middle of all of that since 2018. You think about Yelly, Woody, Freddie, what they've done to establish excellence and the level of competition that you demand.
Yelly brings that standard of how to play the game. He understands the little things. This team does the little things. And Yelly's the one that sets that tone. He means the world to this team, way beyond the numbers.
How have you relied?
Konnichiwa.
How have you relied on so many different players to contribute, whether it's rookies or your veterans to step up with so much adversity, Murph?
Yeah, I got to credit the front office, and I got to credit the coaching staff. They just keep getting as much as they can out of each player. You know, it's not a matter of experience. It's not a matter of, whether or not they've done it before. They exude confidence and conviction, and guys step up and do it. The standards are high.
Thanks, Murph, for the time. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
There is Pat Murphy celebrating another division title. 2 years as manager of the Brewers, 2 division titles. That highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network. I'm curious about something that I was thinking about. So I'm listening to that music in the background, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. Of the people on this station currently that are there, this new lineup tomorrow, right? We got Trevor Thomas, Josh Albrecht, John Kuhn, Rami Makloff, Brandon Snide, Tommy Wirtz, Mason Crosby, Mitch Thundernellis, Charlie Usen, myself. Which playlist would you want to play if we were throwing a party? Which personality or producer's playlist would you be like, all right, if we're throwing a party and we're getting down and having some fun in some dude's backyard or whatever we're doing for a summer party or something like that, whose phone or whose Spotify playlist are you like, all right, throw his playlist on and it's going to be a blast?
I'll tell you right now, the bottom of the list is one of us two, and it's not me. Second, I'm probably going to go with Mitch Nellis just because.
I'm not asking you to put these in order. Whose playlist do we play?
I think it's me by default.
Lord.
Like seriously, unless you want to get crack into country music with Mason Crosby or I would give Mitch Nellis some hope, but then Call Me Maybe would pop on or something. And you see, you don't even know that song.
Oh, I know that song.
Okay?
I know that song.
Yes. I don't know. I want to give, let's say Trevor. I'll give the, from everyone I know here, I'll trust Trevor.
Trevor's the one you're going to trust
at this point.
You first, and then maybe Trevor.
Yeah, I think Charlie probably knows what songs to play.
A lot of folksy
but
stuff.
But as far as his music taste, I don't think that it would get there.
Yeah,
but you and Mitch for sure at the bottom. Not even
It's fine.
Not even coming close to your phones.
I think I've got a great playlist. But regardless of that, I'm not going to argue with you. I was just curious to see like who you might put at the top.
Can you also apologize?
I have to apologize?
Yes.
Okay, for what?
Because Pat Murphy, you say his guys suck every day, and we just listened to that, and you obviously can tell he doesn't feel that way.
Yes, that was a very positive Pat Murphy.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to apologize because if and when they lose, he's going to say, well, the other team's got a lot more money and they got stars all over the place. And I'm just happy we got to where we were with what we have. And that's going to be the backward slap coming. I promise you it's coming. It's going to happen. The only way it doesn't happen is if they win the World Series, which to me would be amazing. To me, the Brewers winning the World Series, I mean, that's it. I'm good then. I might just retire from this whole thing. I might be done.
You're never going to retire.
See you. I'm done. I've seen everything I have to see.
Kay's not going to let you retire.
Super Bowl. I've lived through that. I've done on this station. We've done Bucks championship on the station. We did that. That was a lot of fun. Brewers is the only one. I mean, Badger football's never happening. Oh. So, I mean, for what we have, like, I think this would be good.
I am excited for the rest of the season. I'm saying today celebrating NL Central champs after losing is not nearly as fun as if they would have won.
Fair enough. Here's Christian Yelich.
Christian, this is your 5th division championship since 2018. What does that say about what you guys have been able to do and accomplish?
Just consistently being able to win games and put competitive teams on the field. And got a lot of different guys, but over the years, we just found a way. And this is what it's all for, right? This is the why and why you grind all year. And the first step for hopefully many more.
When you think about how the season started and everything you guys have had to overcome, what kind of resiliency did you guys show?
Yeah, just that, hey, it's a long season and you got to continue to fight, find ways to win. And I think we knew that we were capable of it. We just had to get healthy and do our thing, and that's what we ended up doing.
For you, Christian, what does this season mean to you after missing last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice to be out there and contribute the whole year. I think this year, like, people counted us out pretty early before it even started, and then we had a really bad start. And I think it feels good because just proving people wrong and knowing that we believe in this group, and we've been underdogs all year. So it feels good. Obviously, celebrate this, and then get ready for the real thing in a couple weeks.
There's Christian Yelich with the music blaring in the background from FanDuel Sports Network after the Brewers win the NL Central. No, they didn't win. They lost 5-1, but the Cubs lost, which then clinched them. The Packers lost 13-10. So I wanted to give you some good stuff on the way out so you didn't leave this post-game show feeling angry and mad at the world for the rest of your evening and tomorrow. It's week 3, y'all. It's week 3. Just like he was saying, everybody was mad and ready to write off the Brewers after the Yankees series in the month of April. Long way to go in the season. Maybe Rasheed Walker had him going undefeated. I certainly did. And I don't remember anybody I've talked to having them going undefeated. They're going to lose 4 or 5, maybe 6 games throughout the course of the year. That was one of them. I had them splitting the first 2 between Washington and Detroit, 1-1. Okay, they went 2-0. They stumbled here. Same result, still 2-1 with a chance to be 3-1 after 4 going into the bye week with a Bengals team that got obliterated by the Vikings today. So you're in a position to be 4-1 after 5 right now in your next 2 games. Like, the world is not ending. Life is not over. It will be okay. And it will be okay starting tomorrow for certain. That'll do it for today's Green Bay football postgame show. Thanks so much for listening. Appreciate it. Tomorrow morning, 6 to 9 Inside Wisconsin Sports starts your day with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht from 6 to 9. 9 to noon with Kuhn, John Kuhn, and Rami Makloff. Noon to 2, it's the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Leonard Ellis, brought to you by Verizon. And then 2 to 5, Wisconsin Sports Daily with yours truly. 5 to 6, Tommy Wirtz has the brand new fan postgame show Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. Enjoy the rest of your night. Smile. It's not the end of the world. The Brewers are NL Central champions. Call your Cup fan friends and rub it in. Have a good night, y'all. Toodles.